Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy, and as a part of the Black Friday events, we all received, upon logging in, a free Transcended selector. And I had a lot of you guys reaching out to me asking for me to put together a tier list, because as you can see, there is 45 different characters in here. So that is exactly what we're going to do today. And Amadeus show is front and center because, surprise, surprise, he is honestly one of the top picks, which is kind of crazy because if this selector had dropped before he got this uniform, literally 2 weeks ago, no, maybe, yeah, 3 weeks ago, before we saw him in the Epic Quest, he would have been at the very bottom here. So as you can see, we got a few different tiers. We got the meta picks, characters that are meta for like ABX, ABL, that kind of stuff. We have good characters that are not quite meta, but they're fun to play, have good damage, that could be useful to you depending on how you play the game and whether you like them or not. Then we got niche support, because they give you some type of support buff, whether it's HP from the case of somebody like Beast, even though he himself unfortunately not very good. They just keep shafting my boy. And then we have Alliance Conquest, characters that literally are not good enough for like timeline battle, otherworld battle, TBA, but you could put them on the team in AC and they might catch you a win or two. So yeah, we got a tier for that. And then obviously the bottom tier, because no character in the game at this point is absolutely useless. The characters that I'm going to put in here are characters that you pretty much only use for Shadowland and story mode. So I guess I should put like story mode here, but if you hear me, you hear me. So people like Iron Hammer, people like Ulick, people like Rhino, Scorpion, even though he's better than most of them. People like, unfortunately, yo, this guy has one of the best passives in the game, bro. He has the hero killer passive and they just keep shafting him. So sad, so sad. Moon Girl, Warpath. This guy also keeps getting shafted. I'm intrigued to see what he's gonna look like when he gets tier 4 one day, if he's ever gonna be good, or he's just gonna get treated like the Thing. Thing is niche support. We'll just go ahead and this guy can go in here as well. Put him there. Giant Man, no love for him. Alliance Conquest for you. Unfortunately, Angel, man, seasonal uniform and all. He has debuff removal, so he's better than most because he's actually a decent DPS, but no iframe ignore. Sad times. Heimdall, I think he's better than Heimdall just because he can go to 80. This one is probably the one that pains me the most, bro. She is and was one of the first characters to get an awakened skill, and since that time we've gotten multiple uniforms for Moon Knight and she still can't get any love, bro. We have had multiple opportunities for them to give her something, maybe for like Halloween or something like that, and unfortunately no dice. Okay, just so sad, so sad. Iron Fist is kind of like Shadowland story mode. Kate Bishop, honestly, because she has penetration in her kit and her artifact gives her iframe ignore, she can actually do some work in AC if you want to use her there. Drax is also an AC character. Hulkbuster AC. Jessica Jones AC. Luke Cage AC. Surprisingly, these two are probably better than him, even though he's level 80. I guess since they can go to tier 4, I probably should put them in front and center though, but most people shouldn't tier 4 them. He has a niche support, but like there's literally nowhere in the game that you would use him. The only person he can buff is Dr. Octopus, and the day that you use Dr. Octopus, you can't use Kraven because Kraven is speed and Dr. Octopus you'd be using for combat supervillain. So it's just so sad. Wasp, I would say she's kind of a meta pick for Otherworld Battle and TBA, right? Even though she's not there for damage, so you realistically you need her uniform just for the extra HP, but you could just have her at like tier 2, you know? You don't need her transcended because she's not going to kill anyone. She's in most cases just going to die right away. She's above average, but still like not very good. Let's see. Shadowland. Nah, she's good for AC. I think she's very good, honestly. This guy is good for AC. She's not that great for AC. She's like she has a leadership that's pretty good, but you don't need to transcend her for that. So I'm gonna put her there. Mantis. Mantis is actually like a good DPS for a level 70 character, and she has a niche support. Moon Knight, he's falling off quite a bit, but if you like him, he might be someone you could transcend with the selector if you have most of the good options. And the reason why I say that is because it's been a while, and if you notice, they've gone back several times to give people like Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Spider-Man, and a bunch of other characters like Thor. They've gone back to those original characters that first got tier 4, and Moon Knight was one of the first. And they might go back to him relatively soon and give him a uniform. So if you're a Moon Knight fan holding out hope, that could happen, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. But if you look at the history of like them going back and giving uniforms to people like Hulk several times, like, you know, maybe they'll go back to him at some point because he was one of the first tier 4s. Meta picks, obviously, because we only have Nick Fury as male speed superhero support, so now having Amadeus Cho is really good, especially if you're free to play. Even though technically you can farm Nick Fury for free, it's a harder character to get up to tier 2 to get access to the support passive, whereas with Cho, you don't even need him at tier 2. You pick up his uniform, and the uniform itself will give you a support buff, which is pretty good because the place you're going to use him, you don't even need him to be at tier 2. So it's a different type of investment. I don't want to say cheaper because, well, actually, technically, depending on how you acquire Nick Fury, because you could buy Nick Fury from the Legendary Battle, that's going to cost you more than buying Cho's uniform, especially at $875 with a 50% discount. So I definitely think you should consider picking him up. I would say probably the best pick though is my girl here, Gamora. Human Torch is really good. I wish there was a day where he dominated for ABX and I could or ABL, either one, and I could justify tier 4ing him because he's very good. I just don't have a need for him right now, and there's a lot of characters that are now coming back, and I'm probably gonna tier 4. You know, like sad times. Anyways, Medusa is a niche support. She's meta, but you don't need her transcended. You need this uniform or her previous uniform to buff the Inhumans. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to transcend her with the selector because you're not really using her for, well, you can use her for a world boss, but you would have to tier 4 her to really have a need for her because there's less support characters that are at tier 4. So she's a good one to have. But if you just, you know, transcending her to use her as a support for world boss like ultimate, you have way better supports and way more of them. All right, when you're talking about legend now, not that many supports currently have tier 4, so she's a good one to look at. Bishop is pretty solid too. I'll definitely put Bishop ahead of I'm probably gonna put her here just because he's pushed out of the meta. But then again, you don't need her. Yeah, I'm putting her in niche support. You don't need her transcended. Again, I'll put her at the head though. Yeah. Anyways, Shadowland, Silk hurts my soul. Love her. It's a good one. It's a good one to pick up because you can then use her for like world boss and stuff. But we have way more supports now than we ever had. It's not a niche. Well, it's kind of niche, right? Because it only applies to boss types, so it's only for PvE content. Whereas some of the other support passives target villains specifically, so you could go up against villains in PvP and use their support, like Valkyrie, for example, or Shuri. Alright, so it's a niche support, but a very good one. Niche support for you. She's a Shadowland TBA type character. I would definitely put her in terms of value. She has an ABL day. I don't really see Angel anywhere these days, bro. Like, real talk. Outside of AC, I don't see him anywhere, but I see these two a lot for TBA. And I even see her when they put certain restrictions on the penalty to increase the character points for TBA. But whatever. Point is, that's the tier that they belong in. Shadowland, nah, I gotta do my girl Domino justice. And he has a we'll put him here. Nah, he has a leadership. If I'm gonna put Angel, I have to put Malik it too, because he has a good leadership. The energy defense plus the debuff removal, and then we got Bullseye. Crazy how the Awakened selector, the top picks this time around, all three of them, speed. Isn't that crazy? Speed villain, speed male hero, speed alien hero. That's actually crazy because all three of them do something different, or at least cover something different, right? Speed female alien hero, and she has a leadership. Speed he doesn't have a leadership, but he has a support. But speed human male hero, and then speed human villain male. He has an ABX and ABL day. So yeah, this is how I would shake this list out. You could probably restructure these tiers, but that's my overall impressions of this. A lot of choices in here. A lot of choices that used to be down here now in other categories, so I'm happy with that. I wish I could put Human Torch and Bishop higher up, but I really can't, you know. Maybe next year, we'll see.